Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had an enjoyable break. I myself is still feeling a bit of the warm and fuzzies from the first section, but we are getting to some exciting next part. For the moment many of you have been waiting for, the roast of Kitzzy, please help me to welcome our past district director, distinguished Toastmaster, Stefanie Chow, as today's Roastmaster.
Thank you, Cindy. I am so excited and nervous at the same time. So I am just going to take a sip of my champagne. If everyone can either literally or virtually raise a glass with me in anticipation for Kitzzy's roast. Okay, I'll actually take a sip since I said I would. And it always reminds me whenever I drink in Toastmasters, when Kitzzy was just becoming district director, she was still giving me crap for drinking. She would just say, Stefanie, why do you drink so much? Why are you always in need of a drink? I don't understand. Do you have a problem? Do we need to intervene? But I said, just you wait, Kitzzy. Just wait for the moment. And the day finally did come when we were finishing up a Toastmasters board meeting. And she said, God, I need a drink. And I said, aha, I told you, finally the moment has come. It is not just me. This job can be very, very stressful, and it's totally fine and worth it in the end, but no time for judging anymore. And that told you so moment is exactly what today's roast is about. Just for some of you who have never been to a District 4 Toastmasters roast before, why do we roast? Well, there is a certain love that comes from saying our inner thoughts out loud. It's kind of like sibling rivalry for those of you who have siblings. It's something about saying what's going on in your mind out loud in a way that isn't shady or offensive, that's rather endearing. And if you are going to be shady and offensive, move to Denver like I did. So there are no repercussions. This is actually, Kitzzy, the reason why I moved to Denver. I had to move in time for your roast, so you couldn't get to me after all the things I'm about to say about you. Just kidding. The lay of the land, we're going to have 7 roasters who are roasting Kitzzy, taking turns coming onto the screen, presenting their roasts. I will let you know when it is time to do that. Feel free to participate in the chat. Say nice things, of course, but feel free to laugh virtually and such. Each roast will be 3 to 4 minutes, but unlike a Toastmaster speech, evaluation, table topics, there will be no grace period. If a roaster goes over the 4-minute mark, they will be hooked by our Hookmaster, which I will now invite to come on screen. You will be virtually hooked. Usually in a physical way, the Hookmaster would have a cane or some sort to pull you off the stage, but our Hookmaster, Aubrey Carrier, has put together a hook with items that mean a lot to Kitzzy. Legos, I'm sure you'll hear about some of that during the roast, but if you go past the 4-minute mark, Aubrey will mute you. Your roast will be over. Sometimes don't you wish you can just mute people in real life? Well, now you can do that here on Zoom. But all the roasters must keep in mind, make sure that you can take what you dish out, because at the end of all of these 7 roasts, Kitzzy will have 20 minutes or so for her rebuttal. She will come back at all of you, including me, so I should also be careful what I say. She will come right back at you with whatever she comes up with. We will see. That's also a very nerve-wracking part of the role. So without further ado, I will go ahead and warm up or heat up the bath water, so to speak. As I introduce each of our roasters, I might do a little roasting myself so the roasters can get a taste of their own medicine. The first roaster that we have came to me and said that, I don't know what to say about Kitzzy. She is the nicest lady in the world. And I felt like this person was just straight up lying. I don't know what she was thinking. It's probably because she got Toastmaster of the Year, so she wanted to be nice to Kitzzy. So please help me welcome our first roaster, the outgoing Division A Director, Catrina Meyers.
I don't know what you're talking about, Stefanie. Kitzzy is the nicest lady in America. She truly lives life to the fullest. And she's addicted to district leadership, or just leadership in general. She really can't stay away. She has just finished the craziest year leading District 4 at the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak, when we had to scramble to completely overhaul everything. Speech contests, our annual conference, our district executive committee or DEC meetings, clubs moving their meetings online. After such a thrilling year, most people would take some time off, relax, enjoy some free time, but I don't think Kitzzy knows what free time is. She's too addicted to leadership. She's a club officer in not one, but two of her clubs. But wait, there's more. She recently joined a third club and then joined their club officer team too. But just to make sure she can attend as many club officer trainings as she possibly can, she decided to take on a different club officer role in each club. So she's the president in one, the VP PR in another, and sergeant at arms in the third. Her cushy, relaxing bubble bath and candlelit year is shaping up to be quite busy. Plus, she is now the immediate past district director, so she's still involved in the district leadership team, and she just offered to all of you to be your mentor. I think she's got her hands full. It may be hard to believe, but Kitzzy didn't actually join Toastmasters for the leadership opportunities. I know. She joined Toastmasters in order to be a better listener. This still is a work in progress, but she has gained the skill of remembering things you said months and months ago. At one of our DEC meetings earlier this year, she pulled me aside to provide some constructive feedback. Only I didn't really know exactly what she was talking about by that point, and when I asked for a specific example, she couldn't give me one. So maybe that was a blessing in disguise for me, and hopefully she doesn't remember it here today. When it comes to Kitzzy, I've learned don't volunteer for anything. I had planned on a relatively easy year as an area director, but 2 days before our first leadership meeting last June, I got a call from Kitzzy. Instead of letting me just coast as an area director, she wanted to promote me to division director. She has a way of talking you into things. It's very hard to resist her charms. She even met with me a few times over this past year to try to talk me into running for another district leadership position instead of taking this year off. She's relentless. Maybe her saving grace is her love for Bitmojis. Maybe love isn't quite the right word though. I think obsession might be a better word for it. It was an unspoken rule that you had to include at least 50 different emojis for every 5-minute presentation you delivered at one of our DEC meetings. And if she noticed that your presentation was a little light on Bitmojis, she'd send you a text of her Bitmoji doing random things and then ask to see yours doing those same things. Always be suspicious when Kitzzy starts texting you Bitmojis. You'll probably see them show up on slides in the next meeting you're in together. Kitzzy, I know you're gonna have a busy year as a club officer for 3 clubs, or are you up to 4 clubs now? Over this past year, I've learned from you that anything I say can and might be used against me at some future date. And I should always avoid your calls right before an important meeting so you can't rope me into doing something. I do have to thank you though for the impressive library of Bitmojis that I now have on my computer. Cheers to the nicest lady in America, Kitzzy Avilés.
Thank you, Catrina. I hope everyone is laughing. Let's go on to and Aubrey was very close to finally getting to hook someone. There has to be a better way to say that, but post in the chat post in the chat here. Wait, no, here. If you have any better ideas. Going on to our second roaster. Our second roaster has never given a roast before in his life. He was very nervous about doing this, and he unfortunately was the first to even spill the beans. Kitzzy, I don't know if you remember who this is, but I very specifically said in my emails, do not tell Kitzzy that you are a roaster. I said this multiple times. It's kind of like in high school when you're telling someone like, hey, I have a crush on this one boy, just don't tell him. And then people immediately go to tell him. I think we need to have a talking after this about what it's like to keep a secret. So hopefully he is delivering one of the best roasts that we are seeing today. Please help me welcome our outgoing Area A6 Director, Mark Pratt.
Thank you, Miss Rostmaster. I hope to do it justice. Who here has been a new bashful Toastmaster? Okay, here is every bashful Toastmaster's first impression of Kitzzy. The setting is Toastmasters Leadership Institute last fall. Kitzzy speaking because, of course, Kitzy's speaking. The bashful Toastmaster is standing alone near the Costco mountain of cut carrots and hummus. The first thing the bashful Toastmaster notices is Kitzy's smile. Oh my God, it's huge and it's always there. I can't even do it justice. I had to look away and sneak back a look at Kitzzy just to see if she's still smiling. Oh my God, that thing must be solar powered or electric, one or the other. No, both. Her smile has a life of its own. It's as if she has a personal supply of nitrous oxide. If you look now, it's still going on. But it isn't just her smile, but the infuriating, boundless energy that she possesses. Her even oblivious persistence. It seems to ooze from her. Back to the experience of the bashful Toastmaster. Not the most natural presiding officer for a meeting like this, but as a speaker, Kitzy's smooth and immediately locks on to our bashful Toastmaster. The only person in the room she doesn't know. She comes over to engage the Toastmaster, who, as she gets closer, sees her trademark wisp of gray hair. Not quite sure if he or she was ready to engage with the powerhouse coming their way, but here it comes. Boundless energy, obviously persistent, well-spoken, distinguished white streak. Oh my God, she's Pepe Le Pew. Hello, new Toastmaster, whoever you are. I am Kitzzy Avilés, District Director. Everyone should have a hobby, and mine is speaking about empowerment. You like to speak? I like to speak. Would you like to speak about empowerment together? May I call you Area Director? Our bashful Toastmaster runs away, but we all know how that cartoon ends. No matter where the bashful Toastmaster heads off, Kitzy's boundless energy prances off in that direction, sure to catch our bashful Toastmaster. She has so much energy that her theme for the year was a sun inside a light bulb. It's fitting, but would you please choose one? With that energy, she approached everything this year. San Francisco Human Feces Storm, smile. Pathways Transition Challenges, smile. Coronavirus shuts down all in-person meetings and in-person contests, smile. Oh my God, will you stop smiling already? Never stop smiling. Madam Rostmaster.
Thank you, Mark. That is hilarious. This reminds me of every new member that comes in and is like, I don't know if I want to do my icebreaker. I'm not really comfortable going up on stage. And then they go up on stage and they're amazing. Congratulations, Mark, on your first roast. And to Pepe Le Pew over here for being the subject of the roast. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Okay, man, being Rostmaster is not forgiving. I don't have any breaks between laughing and trying to figure out the next roaster, but we're going to plow on ahead and introduce the next roaster, who was actually asked to give a roast less than 24 hours ago. It really takes an overachiever to know an overachiever, because this person, how should I say it? You would think that she's very quiet and calm and polite, and then she starts drinking and then she gets super sassy. So I'm hoping that she had a few shots of rum before giving her roast. Please welcome our resident drunken pirate and Hookmaster, past district director, incoming parliamentarian, Aubrey Carrier.
Surprise! Pardon me, I need to put on my roasting Kitzzy uniform so I have protection from the hot flames that are coming our way. So if you've ever been in a restaurant with Kitzzy, whether it's post-toasties, pre-toasties, whatever, you will know that she has a habit of over-ordering every single time. Maybe there's a daily special or there's a side dish she really wants to try out. And especially if there is a deal on appetizers, she just cannot say no to that. It's like she can't stand to see any empty space on her plate, or she feels like it's wasted space. And everybody else says, Kitzzy, pace yourself. And every single time she ends up saying, oh, this is too much, I can't finish. So then she's empowering everyone else at the table to take some food, and she's getting takeout boxes to bring the rest home, but this happens every single time. Well, guess what? It is the exact same pattern with Toastmasters. You heard Catrina, joining one club wasn't enough. Not 2, not even 3, she had to join 4 at the same time when she is in district leadership. She just can't stand to see any empty space on her calendar because she feels like it's a wasted space. And we all say, Kitzzy, pace yourself. What does she do when it gets to be a lot? She starts recruiting more people, empowering others to take on some of this leadership, share the love, take it home with you, devour it, make it your own. Earlier, you heard Kitzzy talk about stepping back from leadership, and that is fake news. Kitzzy, you love to have a full plate, and take it from someone who has been there. In the next couple of months, you are going to feel like you have a lot of free time on your calendar. Even belonging to 4 clubs and serving on the officer boards of all of them, you are still going to feel like there is too much empty space on your plate. But I have good news for you. Toastmasters is all virtual right now. So grab a plate, grab 2 plates, grab 4 plates, grab more plates, because you can fill them all up at the 24/7 International Buffet. Kitzzy, we thank you for filling up our plate with love, enthusiasm, inspiration, and your amazing leadership presence. Speaking of free time, I don't want to run out of any, so I will say back to you, Madam Rostmaster.
Thank you, Aubrey. And way to go, Aubrey, for making literally everyone in the chat super hungry. Now we all want to go to a buffet of leadership. Hopefully that means everyone will now participate in more leadership opportunities. Moving on to our next roaster. This person is just someone I love to see counter roasted. So that's why I invited him to be a roaster. Kitzzy already mentioned in her speech how special Spanish bilingual is in her Toastmasters journey. And it really is the fault of one person when it really comes down to it. The original mentor of Spanish bilingual, Terry Joyce. If you have any complaints about Kitzzy at all, just blame Terry. Terry was the one who helped to rebuild or build up Spanish bilingual Toastmasters and empower so many people in that club. So Terry, what do you have to say for yourself?
For 5 years now, I've seen Kitzzy work so hard at Toastmasters. Probably hard at her job too, but who knows? So hard at Toastmasters, culminating in being our district director this year. Woo, 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 woo. Now, for all these hardworking people who have been our district directors, some of whom you see here, you know, the rest of us can just say, God bless. Thank you for doing this hard work. While we're thinking to ourselves, don't these people know they're not being paid? It's true. Of course, it's true. Of course, district directors aren't paid. They're somehow the satisfaction of serving all of us is reward enough. So there must be some intrinsic motivation that replaces a paycheck and allows them to drive themselves so they can drive us to drive each other. So what is that motivation? Some people do it out of a selfless desire to help the community. Some do it for that all-important note on their resume, hoping that it'll help the recruiters overlook the fact that all they're really looking for is, can this person program in JavaScript? Kitzzy does it. I'm a little nervous because I'm outing her right now without her permission. But we're in lockdown and there's plenty of space between us. She can't get to me to beat me up, which she certainly could do otherwise. Kitzzy does it for the pins. Just between you and me, us little group of 100 people or so, Kitzzy does it for the pins. Now, here's a photo of Kitzzy when she started Toastmasters. And to be clear, she already had some pins. She's Girl Scouts, and I'm told she joined the Boy Scouts just to get the campfire pin. So her love of pins was already established. Now, here's a recent photo of Kitzzy. Kind of speaks for itself, which is saying something when we're talking about distinguished Toastmaster Kitzzy, who usually has plenty to say. Kitzzy does it for the pins. Now, here's a photo taken just a few seconds later. At first glance, it looks like Kitzzy is smiling and giving a demure little curtsy. In fact, she's grimacing as she crumbles to the ground under the weight of all those pins. I'm friends with her husband, Jason, who told me that recently Kitzzy made him sign a post-nuptial agreement. In the event they ever split up, Jason gets the house, the cars, and the kids. Kitzzy gets the pins. She's counting on an appreciation in value, even though you and I know she could never part with those pins. If she had to,
Thank you, Terry. And I am glad our Hookmaster finally got to use that mute button. Okay, introducing our next roaster. I would consider her one of my best friends in Toastmasters. I think because we have a very similar sense of humor, which is just very sick and twisted. And we get along so well. Kitzy's trying to think about who this person could possibly be. We are very similarly sassy, I would say. And I've actually never seen her give a roast before. So it's possible that people have been intimidated by her sassiness. Who knows? But one thing is for sure, today is her birthday. So please help me welcome our next roaster, past district director and outgoing parliamentarian and birthday girl, Catherine Pratt.
Fellow Toastmasters, overachievers, pin collectors, and game lovers alike. For those of you that don't know, Kitzzy has an obsession with all things toys, games, Legos, Disney, Bitmojis, and bright shiny objects. Now, I'm a teacher, someone who regularly interacts with 7-year-olds, and I recognize that toys and games are a healthy way for children to interact. But as we put the puzzle pieces together of Kitzy's life, we know that the once young Kitzzy started out as an overachiever. Someone who created clubs for leaders of other clubs. Someone who competed in parliamentary procedure contests for fun. And I'm sure at the age of 6, she was organizing her stuffed animals in little breakout groups so they could discuss and chart out all the pros and cons of her being her owner. Clearly, Her current obsession with toys and games is to overcompensate for all the things that she robbed herself of as a child while she was busy being a teenage workaholic. So that's why I want to celebrate Kitzzy in the next few minutes, and I want to welcome you to the new game show, Empower This, the game where nothing is made up and the points don't matter. That's right, your points don't matter, Kitzzy. Welcome to being Immediate Past District Director. I'm your host, Kat, and let's get ready for round one. The topics today are Lego constructions, pandemic leadership, is that a new pin? Let's lead a business meeting, potent potables, and Bitmoji. Kitzzy, are you able to unmute yourself and pick the first question?
Is that a new pin for 600?
Well, guess what? We're doing It's Bitmoji for 400. Here's the question. How many Bitmojis can Kitzzy include on a District 4 event slide? A, 1, B, 1, really? Do you actually know, Kitzzy? C, 8, D, who's counting? You have 5 seconds to get your answer, and don't worry, Kitzzy will make sure that she is visibly scorning you from a digital form over in the corner. And I don't think I need to even give the answer to this, since most of us were responsible. She's responsible for having most of us in the audience have Bitmojis in the first place, so I'm just not even going to answer that question. Let's now move on to pandemic leadership for 800. Here's the next question. This Toastmasters year took place during a worldwide pandemic. On a scale of hedgehog cake, which one accurately describes Kitzy's reactions since March? You have 5 seconds to answer. And sorry, this was actually a trick question. The answer really is none of the above. Each hedgehog cake, according to Kitzzy, is either too rich, too messy, too chocolatey, too sweet, too tricky to eat in a way. So besides, it's getting way too late for her to have dessert anyway, because I think it's Kitzy's bedtime already. Anyway, we now have time for one more. Let's go to Let's Lead a Business Meeting for 1,000. Which of the following is the most accurate description of Kitzzy preparing for the district business meeting? Any of these right here are there, and answer the questions need to be submitted in essay form, defending your answers and citing specific examples. I'm afraid that's all the time I have for you this morning on Empower This. 3,000 points to everybody, and back to you, Madam Rostmaster.
Thank you, Kat. Oh my God, these creepy hedgehogs are gonna be in my nightmares. How is this even a thing? I can't get over it right now. Okay, someone please give me the background about creepy hedgehog cake. Oh man, that is hilarious. Just so you know, Kat has had a lot of practice with online educating as a teacher during the pandemic, so she is like very expertly putting together these presentations. All right, our second to last roaster is like, if you know me, you know I love my analogies. This next roaster is like the worst kind of fart, silent but deadly. You think that this person is very quiet and kind, but in fact, he is very observant in car rides. It's like his car is like a confessional. These early mornings, late nights, he has heard anything and everything about Kitzy's life. So please tell us what there is to know about the gossip that is Kitzzy. Help me welcome past district governor and outgoing logistics manager, Tony the Toastmaster DeLeon.
Stefanie, Madam Rostmaster, Kitzzy, District 4. Do you know someone with an unusual name? I do. Her name is Kitzzy. Kitzzy, you remember the first time we met? Really got to know each other? We were at Noemi's birthday party, and we know that Noemi was going to be late, so we had a lot of time to kill. Remember being on the couch and trying to get to know each other. We learned that you're from Florida, and somehow I got the sense that you were into leadership, and you mentioned an organization that Homemakers of America. And guess what? I was coaching a friend's daughter on that organization. And guess what fell into our conversation? Robert's Rules of Order. We talked about parliamentary procedures. And your eyes lit up. Your hair stand up. You almost dropped your water bottle. You said you were in competitions in high school with Robert's Rules of Order. And, you know, I gave you my business card and say, call me next week and we will talk about getting you to join Point of Order, which is the Parliamentary Procedure Club in District 4. Needless to say, by the time I got home, I had a 15-minute voicemail. I had 100 emails, you know, because Kitzzy wanted to know everything about the club and really wanted to join the club. Guess what? She's a member of, obviously, Point of Order. Now, in District 4 Toastmasters, it's a tradition for many Toastmasters to get together after an event. And we call this post-toasties. And post-toasties is sometimes, Kitzzy mentions that she wants to do it, but then when it's time to do it, she sometimes says, I am tired. I don't really want to do it. Do you know someone like this? I do. Her name is Kitzzy. But after letting her know that Stephanie's going to join, Kat's going to join, Aubrey's going to join, and a bunch of other people, she says, okay, I will go. And I think I'll get a margarita. But when you get to the restaurant, Kitzzy is so indecisive. Someone who's so in control of her life. In the restaurant, it's like a totally different person. Do you know someone like this? I do. Her name is Kitzzy. So she says she's going to get a margarita, but you know what she does? She waits for everybody on the table to order a drink. And she looks at everybody's drink. And, you know, Kitsy's a lightweight, so she doesn't really drink a lot. So she'll look at my beer and go, I don't like beer. She'll look at Kat's wine. She goes, I don't like wine. She may look at someone's mudslide, someone's other drinks, and she might be tempted to sip a little bit and taste. And at the end, she orders sangria, which is like sweetened wine. Do you know someone like this? I do. Her name is Kitzzy. Now, Kitzzy, for me, is a picture of health. She used to be the leader of the Dolphin South End Club and runs races, long races, gets up early on Sundays mornings. But when we're at the restaurant, you know, we have healthy salads, so we have steak, we have all kinds of good things to go. She is always attracted to those chicken nuggets and French fries. Do you know someone like this? I do. Her name is Kitzzy. Kitzzy, you also are very competitive, right? You like to win. And sometimes even during our district team building exercises,
Tony, you have been hooked. You have gone over 4 minutes. Thank you so much for participating. During our post-toasties of this event, you can finish off the last of your roast. Thank you, Aubrey Carrier. For those who might not know, Tony has typically been our Hookmaster. Today he's a roaster, so I'm sure he did it on purpose to get hooked. I will go ahead and dismiss you off screen and introduce our last roaster. If everyone who is participating in the chat can take a guess at who the last roaster is, just type it in and press enter. I'm waiting to see, and don't say it if you actually know who it is, because that's cheating. If I see any roasters posting in the chat, I'm gonna come after you next. All right, if you can't guess who the last roaster is, I mean, do you even know Kitzzy? Our last roaster had a hilarious approach. For those of you who are interested in the behind the scenes, usually the Rostmaster will ask all of the roasters what they're going to talk about to make sure that there's not too much overlap in the topic. So not everyone is talking about Kitzy's love for fries, her indecisiveness at restaurants, her love for Legos, but this person did not care at all. She said, I'm going last. I don't care what anyone else says. It is not going to change the content of my roast. This must be where Kitzzy gets it from, quite honestly. Does not care. This is someone, if you've known her in leadership, you don't want to be on her bad side. Today, I am hoping Kitzy's on her bad side because I can't wait to hear what she has to say. So please help me welcome past District Director, Noemi Gonzalez.
Today, I am going to talk about Kitzy's true Toastmasters journey. Are you ready? Very good. I met Kitzzy when she was a brand new baby Toastmaster. I remember when she arrived at our club, she was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and a bundle full of joy. Toastmasters practices just lit her up. I felt so proud to be her motherly figure. But pretty soon, I started feeling the pressure. And I'm sure it's the pressure that every new parent feels, right? It was a little bit like, would I be able to give her full guidance? Would I be able to keep her engaged? And would she ever stop asking questions? During Kitzy's first year with Toastmasters, we attended the International Convention in Washington, D.C. It was baby's first convention. Kitzzy and I were sharing a room, and I spent my day in training and interviewing international director candidates. Kitzzy attended every single session, from how to be an effective communicator to how to have effective club meetings. True story. After a grueling day at training, I came to our hotel room because we were, of course, sharing a hotel room. And Kitzzy came up to me gushing, "Did you know that only the president of the club can use the gavel?" Yes, it was then that I found out baby had plans. And at that time, I felt shivers run down my spine because at the time, I was the president of our club. And I knew that she had additional plans too. Well, anyway, pretty soon, Kitzzy was all over the place because I guess she figured, why settle on one meeting a week when she could preside at meetings every day of the week? And I want to emphasize, though, that what really captured Kitzy's heart, what really did it, what really kind of made her fly and just be in rapture, was the tangible aspects of the Toastmasters program. That's right, I'm talking about the hardware. Because yes, Kitzzy is, and I have to reiterate that, Kitzzy is a pin hoarder. And that is what has defined a lot of what Kitzzy has done within Toastmasters. Kitzzy is fond of saying that I am responsible for getting her into district leadership. But I'd like to clear that up today. All I did was just show up wearing my pins. And if you ever have seen The Lord of the Rings, that was Kitzzy. Ooh, my precious. That is what got her into district leadership. Let's be honest about it today. And I would like to say that aside from that, yes, I know, many of you are probably asking yourselves, why do I have so many pins myself?
I guess we'll never know, Noemi. I am so sorry, but you got hooked. What a cliffhanger. Thank you for being our final roaster. And thank you to our two-timers, both Lauren and Aubrey. Wait, Noemi, don't go anywhere. You can stay on camera. You can choose whichever Zoom background you want. A+, by the way. And now let's all sit and wonder, what has Kitzzy been doing this whole time? Besides just privately texting me, I'm sure she has also been taking notes. She's been stressing. And yes, thank you, Catrina. I will also invite all of the roasters to come back on screen at the same time. In addition to probably stressing and taking notes, Kitzzy has been undoubtedly trying to find the perfect Bitmoji for how she's feeling right now, because I'm convinced she no longer thinks real thoughts. She just thinks in Bitmojis. If you are unsure of this, just send her an email after this. Show her the appreciation that you have for her as her term as district director. She will send you back a Bitmoji. I am promising this on her behalf without having to ask for her permission. So at this time, Kitzzy now has 20 minutes allotted for her rebuttal. Now that I have heated up the bathwater, all the roasters have heated up the bathwater, it is time for Kitzzy to take the bathwater and dump it on all of us. So please help me welcome the outgoing district director. Time for her rebuttal. Let's hear what she has to say. Kitzzy Avilés.
Wow, I'm speechless, but not for long. Don't worry. That's only gonna last for 2 seconds. I have a headache from laughing so hard. I did not know you all had all this in you. I've definitely been taking lots of notes. I don't have Bitmojis ready because that will just take too long, and then that reduces the amount of words I can say, so we'll save those for later. Yes, Stefanie, you have definitely shown me the ways of how to drink more, so I thank you for that. And she gave me this tumbler that is just perfect, that I filled it with sangria. It's almost empty, so I may have to get a refill soon. And lately also Hamilton quotes, that has become my life as well. Bitmojis and Hamilton quotes, so I might throw some in there randomly. Catrina, wow. It's funny because Stefanie mentioned that, oh, somebody just called you the nicest lady in America, and I'm trying to figure out who could that have been, but I also was trying not to think of who could be roasting me, so I quickly put that out of my mind, so thank you for saying that. I am definitely addicted to leadership. This is true. I don't actually recall saying I would mentor the whole district, but I guess I'm on the hook now. Thanks, Catrina. We'll start with you so that we can begin your journey towards district leadership, or continue your journey. So let's, after all this short-term place is over, let's you and I go out for guacamole and just talk, just catch up. Yes, I did join Toastmasters because I wanted to be a better listener. And sometimes I don't do a great job at that because I'm talking, but I'm trying. I'm still working on that for sure. And let's be honest, Catrina, you're a little bit like me. You just haven't admitted that to yourself. That's why I called you up to be this division director, because I knew you would say yes. I've been trying to get Catrina to get other people to be tech chair, because I'm like, oh, Catrina's been tech chair for a lot. I don't want to burden her. And then she keeps showing up at tech chair everywhere I go. So I think this is you calling, really we're the same. So just lean into it. Lean into it. Mark, oh my God, Mark. Yeah, Mark was the first one to spill the beans. But you know what? It doesn't matter because that was totally unexpected. Your impression of Pepe Le Pew was spot on. And yeah, I'm very proud of my wisp of gray hair that I think has gotten bigger since I've known you, but at least it's just a wisp. So, and this smile is just because you just have to always fake it before you make it. So even if I'm not thrilled, that's just the way what you got to do as district leader. So this is just hiding maybe my other thoughts. And I just have to give you kudos. This is not a rebuttal per se, but I just love the sun inside a light bulb. That is genius. Honestly, what I got from your roast is that you're pretty jealous of me, and I can see why. So, be that what it will be. Aubrey, you did a pretty good job keeping this a secret, but I have to admit that Laura actually kind of spilled the beans for you this morning inadvertently. But I still wasn't sure when you were gonna come on or what. Yeah, you know, I order a lot of food because I just want to make sure that nobody goes hungry. You know, if I don't order the food, then someone else might not, and then they might just be scared to order food. So I just order for them and spread the joy, because why not? Because I know Aubrey doesn't like to share, so I have to be the one to share. She's really particular about her desserts. And so I figured someone has to be the bigger person and the adult in the room and share with other people. But you're right, I'm gonna have so many empty plates and I don't know how I'm gonna fill them. So I will look to Aubrey to help me with that, because one of them can be filled with some big chocolate cake that I won't share with Aubrey. Terry, yes. This is, you know, I mentioned Noemi in my speech, and I meant to mention Terry as well, because this is totally his fault, because he was the club mentor to mentor that club, and then him and Noemi were both kind of our father figures of that club. So I also owe a lot of this to Terry. And I remember when all that happened, taking both of them aside and saying, sure, I'll do this, but you both need to back off and let me lead. And then then he was club president when I was immediate past president, area director. And I was really like, you know, Terry, just tell me to back off if I step on your toes, which I'm probably gonna do, because you know how I'm addicted to leadership and telling you what's what. But Terry helped to feed my pin addiction. So we should blame him a little bit for that as well, because I think he was the one who started the tradition of getting a president badge for the immediate past president with me. I don't know if that was because of my addiction of pins, because he was an enabler or what, but really you kept it going. So I just said, hey, he's accepting me. I'm going to embrace it and just continue to collect more pins. I was really restrained today, mainly because all the hot air balloons in my dress are blending in with the pins. So I just was going to be counterproductive. So I just decided to hold myself back a little bit today. Kat, oh my God, that game was fantastic. I want to play a full version of that game. And yeah, ever since I was a wee child, I was doing parliamentary procedure. And it's really funny that Kat mentions this. It's like she was there in the room where it happened when I was a little girl, because this is absolutely true. When I was a little girl, I had a chalkboard and I had a class and I had a roll book and detention slips and all of that. I started early and I haven't stopped since. And parliamentary procedure is a big part of that. And Kat's Bitmoji game is super strong today, so I welcome that. She's clearly been paying attention to my Bitmoji obsession, but she's also fueling it. So honestly, everybody in this screen you're just a bunch of enablers who can't keep secrets. And yeah. And yeah, I think I'm probably, and I said, I'm not shy about this. I totally feel like I'm an old lady, and 9 o'clock rolls around and I'm like, nope, I can't go to post-OCs. I gotta go to sleep, or I'll get cranky. Let me drink again. Oh man. Tony. You got hooked. I can't believe the Hookmaster got hooked. Yes, I do remember that party. Oh my God, that was I think I lit up because before Toastmasters, the closest thing to Toastmasters to me was Future Business Leaders of America, when I was really heavily involved in parliamentary procedure. And I remember the structure that brought and all the people that I met. And Toastmasters really reminded me of this. So when Tony told me about point of order, I was like, sign me up. I'm not even gonna wait till I'm in district leadership. I want in now. And I gave a speech about this once, but I think it's funny because some people are district directors and they're dreading that business meeting and using that gavel and using parliamentary procedure. For me, when I learned that being a district director meant I got my own gavel and I got to use parliamentary procedure, that wasn't scary for me. That was like, sign me up right now, because I need more of that. And yeah, I'm indecisive because there's just so many choices. And if I decide what drink I want first, then I can't try all of your drinks and then I can't drink more. So really it's a strategy of indecision so that I can get more free food and drinks. And then resort to my trusty sangria when you all either don't let me drink or I drink all of your stuff. Noemi, not surprised you got hooked, because that's been the story of our lives, right? Trading, timing. So I gotta share a story with all of you. When I first joined Spanish Bilingual Toastmasters, the one thing that always irked me is how our meetings were always running long. Like, I'm not talking like a minute or two, we're talking like 15, 30 minutes, because Noemi had club business that she just had to share. And I remember being the presumptuous little baby Toastmasters that I was, emailing the officer, and it's like, I have ideas how we can fix this. And here's a new template you can use. And I'm gonna fix this. So sorry about that, Noemi, but thank you for embracing me and enabling me as well into this journey. I always joke that Noemi was the one who got me into this and convinced me with guacamole, but she'll counter that. It didn't take much arm twisting, and it's true. I had my schemes about how I was gonna oust her and take over Spanish Bilingual, but I didn't even have to scheme. My underhanded scheming worked, and she asked me, so a perfect plan so that it didn't seem like I was coming in and owning the place. And honestly, I did learn enough from Noemi, and she got me into all this, and Terry, but I'm the best for it. So I really want to thank all of you for being part of this journey, for being part of this roast, for letting me have it and letting me get back at you throughout all these years. I'm literally have a headache from all the laughing, because you guys were just so fantastic. Thank you so much. And let's I can't wait to post Toasty so I can refill this and drink some more. Sadly, I can't drink all of your drinks right now, but I'll just have to drink twice here. There you go.
Thank you, Kitzzy. And thank you to all of our roasters. And also special kind of shout out to Jason. Jason, get her a refill. Come on. Jason.
Let me.
Jason, get this woman a refill. She's been giving hints the whole roast, like, man, I wish I really had some more sangria right now. We'll work on this. All right. That is all that we have for today's roast. What fun. I did not know I could have so much fun during a virtual roast, and just District 4 Toastmasters leading the way by way of possibilities. We'll come back a little bit before the half hour for the installation of the incoming district officers.